Just think about Moyard, how do you ever remember the people of the older generation of people who might have lived?
We'll take the pub out there, that's Doyle's now. Mickey Doyle, the present owner, his father come from America in 1930 and bought that wee pub.
Who owned it before that?
The Paddy's beside us.
Oh, right.
And they took ownership and sold it, and Doyle bought it.
How did they come to have that?
They bought it some years, not so many years, maybe but less than 20 years before.
Alright, who lived there before that?
There were Bradley too, the Paddy Hueys they called them. Joe Faggy and Buddy and two other sisters, Buddy and Kate, Buddy and Anne. And after they sold the house and put up a wee tin out beside and lived there till they died. So I think the Paddy, what they call the Paddy Hueys, the crowd that headed before the Paddies, it must have been them that opened in the years gone by, before it, like, that opened the public house there.
Well, what kind of public house would it be now?
Well, a small country pub, and my early time, there was very little fuss about it, for there were not many people could afford to drink, and them that drinking, some of them couldn't afford it either, like, but they were called a few times a week maybe and had a million bottles. One thing and another like that. Doyle made a good enough living on it. He had a bit of farm or two. He had good enough living on it, and then he fell into money later on, and he started to do better again. Speculate a bit.
So,
well then, there was one, it was true, like it was said one time, and it was true. I could name them myself. There was 11 families at Bradley in the townland of Moyard. I could name them off. The Paddy Hueys that I was talking about, and the Lorry Fadges, and another crowd of Fadges, all the one clan of people lived over there.
Who were the Lorry Fadges and where did they live?
No, up just at the top of the hill there, above, where Mickey Doyle built the new house there.
Aye.
Well, Joe Barnett was about 100 yards farther up there. Well, the rain went up there and went up that brace that in front of you.
Right, so the very top of it?
Aye, and that was Lorry Fadges.
Who were they now?
Well, they're the same breed as the ones from the pub.
Alright.
They were all the same Faggy Bradleys. Well then, there are a clump of ones over there on the brae, you see it over from that, a wee little lower down. That was another branch of the same sort. Well then there was another house after that.
What were they called then?
They were Bradley too.
Alright.
And there was another house then after that, John Hamish is there, like, at Paddy Brains.
Aye.
Well, they were John Hamish's. I could never be sure whether they might have been McNamee. I'm not sure. Like.
Well, how long were they there? Or when did
They were way before my time.
What became of them anyway?
Died out. There was two other brothers and they died out.
Alright.
I suppose they were a family before that, but
There's no relations left in the 16th?
no relations left. Well then, the next farm on that jump at 5 years ago, and that was on the left hand side, that was Ailst's neighbour Heath.
Aye.
And then, where Eugene's living there, that's the last town, or the last house on that side of my yard. There were people lived there, the name of Cleary at one time. Well then changed hands back and forth, and then John Faggy's father bought it to finish up.
Is there any connection to theirs left?
Eh?
Is there any connection to these Cleary people left?
Well, the Tams down there, what's left of them, nobody, only some of them are colours. They were the same Cleary.
Alright.
Aye.
Then the Keats, were they any connection to Pat Keats or up in...
They were, surely. Aye, there was some connection to Pat Keat up in Cromorton there. And strange to say, Mammy and me went down till there was a woman down in what do you call that wee place, that wee village below where I felt there, out at the side out. What do you call it?
Castle Dolan?
No, that's in the centre. That's on the main road. This is out to your left there. But we would used to get laying hands from the woman down there. We wouldn't be looking for many at a time anyway, she did them. went down this time and said no. But she gave us an address of somebody in Marifelt to try them. And there's a big house there at, you know where the filling station is as you go to Marifelt?
The Dublin Road?
No, the Belfast Road.
Alright.
You know where the big, where the filling station is there,
Aye.
at the corner when you go.
Aye.
Well, there's a big 2-story house there, and that's what the address was sent for. And they had the file and we got them what we wanted there. But there was a woman in it and her son, and while we were getting the thing, the son was talking to me and he was asking me where it come from. And he says, I tell him 6 times, he says, we have friends up there, he says, or used to have friends up there, he says. Did you ever know anybody by the name of Keith up there? I said, I did, sure. Well, he says, they were friends of ours. We were the same connection of people. And he was Keith himself.
Alright.
And the mother and him, they had some business there too, like. But they were very well-to-do people, like, and very nice people. And he said he would have to come up sometime to the Six Towns. He was talking about calling, like, to go up around the old place to see it and all, but he never got there. Like all the promises it's made. He never got there.
Well, what about this side of Moyard then?
Well, this side of Moyard, to start at the bottom of it.
Next Orleys you were talking about?
Next Orleys.
The people that lived there before next
Well, the
Orleys?
people that lived there before them were Bradley. And there was there were 4 girls in it, I think.
What was their nickname now?
There was John French. And there was 4 girls in it. And I think there might have been a boy or 2 that went away, emigrated. But the old man and the 4 girls lived there. And they were great singers. They were mentioned all over for their voices as singers. And they come one month and they all went down with TB. And 3 of the girls, well, 3 of them went down with it, the other one didn't. 3 of the girls went down with it and died with it. And the old father went down with it and died with it in the same year. And the other girl survived to live till 90. She was married over to Rome there. She'd be, you know, Pat Moore's there in the, you know, that wee house with the, or that big house with the green trees around there. She'd be standing up the hill going to be Kieran House. That's where she was married up.
Who were them people now, or do you remember them?
The Morrises were, well, they were from over there, and I suppose I knew some of them, like the later generation.
Mickey Morris, do you remember him?
Mickey Morris would be a brother. He would be a son of that woman I was talking about.
Alright,
Aye.
he was an Irish speaker.
Aye, there was Pat and Mick. Well, I don't think Pat bothered much about the age, but Pat and Mickey, they were sons of that woman. Well then, when the farm was, when they left the farm, or was left with them, Thomas Rowley's father, old Tommy, bought it and come up and lived there. And after 4 people dying with TB in that house, an old thatched house, Tommy moved in it with a young family of 6 or 7, and no disinfectant or nothing, and sat there and not one of them ever took TB. So it's no good in talking about.
He had some story about meeting some man he knew.
Oh, why? I went down to Belfast, went into Donegal Street to get a gun repaired, and there was a fella I knew told me to go to this place, and he says, ask for Mr. Stewart when you go in. He's an old man, he says, that worked in the shipyard and he could do anything really. And asked for him, he says he's manager of it. Well, I went down in the 7 o'clock bus in the morning, down there about 9, went down into this place. And this old white-haired man was standing behind the counter. I says, would you be Mr. Stewart? He says, I am indeed, he says. So I showed him what I wanted done. I says, if you could tell me what it'll cost, I'll pay you now and give you the fare to send it up on the bus to represent to me and say me you're coming down for it. Well, he says, I can, he says. He says, I was giving him the address where to send the gun, you see, at represent. He says, he looked at me, he says, now, what side of the hell are you from? He says, are you from the Glenelly side or the Six Towns side? He says. Well, it was a lifter to me down in Donegal Street, somebody asked me that. That's just out from the extension. Well, then he looked at the dress Moyard. We used to know people, he says, in Moyard, he says. That's the house, he says, and there were 3 of our girls around, he says, and they were great singers, he says. And we used to be up in Deans of the Six Towns, he says, visiting there. I was born in Carden Daisy behind sort of Yallen. Well, we used to be up in Deans, and I got to know these people, and would kill you up and down. But he says, I think they're nearly all dead now, he says. Well, one, he says, I think survived. And she went married away somewhere, he says. You wouldn't know her, he says. Did you ever hear tell of Shooty John Frank, he said. Did you ever know Shooty John Frank? He said, I did know her well, and I know her still. Well, he says, is she living yet? I was in our son's house on Sunday evening there. That was true. And he says, the man's woman was preparing a row of buckets to go out to feed calves, and the old woman come in, that you were asking about, and lifted 2 of the buckets and away flying with the young woman out to feed these calves. She's that well anyway. Like.
And who was this? This must have been Morris?
That was Pat Morris's mother.
Alright.
She was born over here.
Oh, aye, they're from
From
Ramsey, was there?
Aye. Well, then the next house there was the Hamishes.
The Toms were with Nazis, and where did the McSorleys come from? Toms.
Tom McSorley come from old Tommy, come from Brunelli, I believe, in the beginning. He had a mill or something, or he worked in a mill. He used to be referred to that bit as Tam the Miller, but he come from there anyway, and then he married to a woman at a wee bit of land over here. Now it was small, but he married her and had a family there, and then bought this farm and moved up to it. But then the Hamishes, that was a family.
But Nancy then?
Nancy and
Nellie?
well, they were Joan Hamish's family.
All right.
And their father was Joan, and the 2 sons divided the land. Paddy and John. Now his father was John. Wee John and Paddy, they divided the land between them, and they're up there, and they're all gone out of it now too. Well, then the Paddy said that beside us was all gone, and the Francis John Fredericks and the Thomas Fredericks, they had 2 farms up above that, and
who were they now?
And the Joe James people and Francis Bradley's people.
All right.
Or Paddy James at the wee place up there. Right. Paddy has the 2 places now. And they have all moved out to it now. Relatives have it, like, but their stock's all gone. Well, then the next place was Malloy's. They're all gone. Joe Jackson's all gone too. He was
the James then?
Oh, you passed the James. That was them I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, John McGee, that was what Joe Jack says.
Right.
He was Slady. And he'd be the same stock as the people up at Eugene and the ones down in Calvary there.
All right.
Same stock as ladies. Well, then, when you're down over there a bit.
Was Joe Jack's father?
No, he was his uncle.
Uncle.
And Joe Jack was Conway.
All right.
His mother was Slady, but his father was Conway. Well, then, when you were down over a bit there where Mickey Conway has a new house, there was another place on there they called Peter Honors. And I don't know what Peter Honors' right name was. That was only a nickname. I never inquired to ask us about what Peter Honors' name, his nickname was, or his proper name was. He lived there, but it was always way years before my time.
Was there any house or anything there? Was there?
No, there was no house. The old walls was there in my time. Then Conway's knocked it down. Well, then you went over after that to Conway's. There were 2 houses.
Is there a name for that area over there that Stranrahanch was? Or?
Stranrahanch from. Well, I think you would hardly be on Stranrahanch till you would go to Conway's land.
Right.
From that over to the hollow was Stranrahanch. And the Conways, there were 2 farms there at one time, 2 sets of the Conways. Well, they were supposed to come up from where Smiths and Lawton's there, as are now originally, at the bought in up there. And they had lived down there, and the cattle was all dying with it. It was an awful place for cattle dying with moor or red water. And they were tormented with it, so they sailed out and moved up to there. But it was a brave move, though. There were 500 acres on the land.
So they come up from Cavanray then?
They come up from Cavanray, from what they call Cockhill.
Aye.
It was old Cavanray, but we same as Slanahanch up there.
Alright.
That wee areas named themselves, but the official name of it was Cavanray.
Aye.
And there
Who would have been there? You don't know who would have been there before then?
was
Up in Colin?
I never could find out who lived there before the colonies got it. It was a considerable place now compared to the rest of them and the Moyard, like in the 6 towns for that matter. More than an average of 20 acres or under, and they had in that place they had 500. Most of it was mountain, but they could get a better arable than anybody else had. So it must have been a kind of a mansion place at one time.
So would that have been Mickey Conley's grandfather then?
Mickey Conley's grandfather, Early Maharo was it called. And then when you go on over to the Hollows, we call it, you had McNamee's there. Some of them were related and some of them weren't. They're all away to except
Who were the earliest people you'd heard mentioned?
Eh?
Who were the earliest people you'd have heard mentioned of around there now?
well, the earliest I know was Maggie John's father, like, mother. And well then the Peter Brains, old Peter Brain. I remember Pat Peter Brain, he was an old man in my day. But I don't remember him, but I remember hearing about his father. I remember Pat, but he had talked about his father was Peter Brain. And
Were they McNamee?
they were McNamee, and Maggie John and them would be the same McNamees, I think. But then Pete's were McNamee too, but they were a different McNamee. They were a little more to the Johnny Molly's down here.
No way.
Aye.
Do you remember James Pitt's father then?
Oh, good. I remember James Pete's father. A good part of my life. I suppose it would be in the late 40s when he died.
And then you had the Manahans there.
Aye, well they moved up from this wee place beside us, you see. They moved up there. They got
Tommy
that.
Francis?
They got that place up. Aye, they got that place up there with their uncle Pat Peter Brain,
Alright.
and moved up there, and set up when Johnny married and had a family. Francis, Johnny's son, married, has a family again, and a swarm of them there.
There's another wee place name in there somewhere, wasn't there?
Eh?
Another wee.
No, Maggie Jones mentioned that. Maggie Jones.
Thralty.
Eh?
Where was Thralty?
Oh, Thralty. That's how you round house. You see it there just above the house, so you round house out of Thralty. Mm-hmm.
There's nobody else in my yard.
The bottom of there, the first step out is Crockmorn. That's a kind of a nickname for one or two. They're nearly all Moran that lived in the lower end in them days.
Were they there long or?
They must have been there from time memorial. I didn't know back as far as I ever hear.
But do you remember Frank Moran's father?
I do. But nothing more now.
Were they any nickname?
He was James Jimmy. There was more, but it was James Jimmy. Well then, there was another wee man, he'd be a cousin, lived up on the next house, just back of Richie's Lane there. He was more than two, and he was James Charlie. The other boy was, they'll be cousins. James Jimmy and James Charlie.
Alright.
Well then when you were on up after that, you come to Charlie Camels, and he was the father of Jim Camel that was taught him on a unit till he retired. And he had two sons, and they're one of them, the priests. And I don't know whether he's living or dead still now. Father Camel, well, he wouldn't be very yet, you know, but he'd be well along.
Where did they live?
He lived for the bungalows.
Alright.
The old house just above the bungalow, that's where they lived.
Right. And when was the bungalow built then?
The bungalow was built in 1930.
Who built it? Or Master?
Master Camel built it. And then when he had it built, he couldn't live in it. He suffered from asthma, and he could never live in the bungalow. Some of the air didn't suit him. And strange to say, the old thatched house up above, an old one-story thatched house, and an old outshot bed in it, what they call an outshot bed, a bed up along the back of the house. And he could sleep there, and he couldn't sleep down in the bungalow. I remember I used to be hurting down there at Andy Huey's there, and he'd come up even after school time and drive up from Moyard, and he was riding a motor bicycle at the time. And I heard after that he came up every evening for a sleep. He couldn't sleep down at Moyard where he lived. He would come up for a couple of hours sleeping without bed in the kitchen up, and go back down in bed in again.
And there's old walls or something like that, doesn't there?
Aye, that's the old walls of where Master Camel was born.
Right.
Oh, and it's used there for office housing now, for pigs and so.
Alright. So there was a building.
And then the next farm after that was no, Mary Vicky's. But I never mind, they were Camel, I think, the people. I never remember anybody living there in my time. It's an old walls, just know that time. Well, then the fields come after that, the ones we're talking about, the races down in Marfelt. Well, then you come after that to the
Cape. The wee thatched house, remember? There's still thatched in my memory.
No, there was zinced.
Well, there was thatched one. Just next up, round the corner. Just around, as you go around the corner, it's in the field.
Oh, well, that was only the Johnny Molly's was that wee place. They used to house a mini kettle up there in the winter time in an old barn, and they thatched it.
Alright.
Aye, that wasn't the dwelling house, that was an old barn thatched. It would have been a part of the dwelling house. That's what it was thatched for.
But who were the Hugh Vickies then?
Oh, aye, they lived on the roof of Rich's, two houses on the same roof. They were Conway, that would be Joe Jack's father.
Alright.
James Vicky. Old Hugh Vicky used to hear my father talking about him. He was a vicious old rascal. And these Paddy Hueys that had the public house, him and them didn't get along. He blamed them one time for his ducks would be laying down about their burden down, about stealing his eggs, like, and they sued him for it. And he was the two women that sued him for their characters, and he was defending how he was decreed £5 for one of the characters and £6 for the other. Then he'd be walking about the fields there, and if he'd seen any of them out about the pub over, he started to sing the sixpenny maid and the £5 plitter. But he was a vicious old bastard. He got there were crows picking pretty done, and he got one of them trapped or caught. He had a stick, bit of a stick, and he held it up and hit it on the head. Come on, pick it now, say, pick it now. And ill-hearted old rascal. He liked to be well ahead himself and see everybody other difficulties. He would hurry up and get the work all done, the moss, dirt gathered up and everything done. And then there were a couple of lads. And he would send them out at bed, and then the night they got finished up, he'd send them out. You see what sort of night as it's raining. They were getting on to them too, you see, and they'd come in, it's teeming there. Good, he would say. Good, you see, it was going to... Everybody else was caught, like.
Then, we all know, after that,
Eh?
Fish is
Well,
Atties, I suppose, yeah.
Aye, that was Kelly's place. And
Oh, Kelly's, aye.
Patrick had it now.
Well, who were the Kellys, or where did they come out?
Well, I don't know how long they lived up there, but yeah, Johnny Kelly's, he was living the day he'll be 95 maybe. He was 10 years older than me. He was 95. But he was the youngest of the Kelly family.
Aye. Many was there.
There was Joe and Francis and Johnny and Ellen and Annie and Mary. There were 6 of our family. But then his father was Frank Kelly, and that's going back a long way.
You'd remember him, would you?
No, I don't. He was there before my time. But I remember old John, their father.
Oh, the father,
I met his father and Johnny's. Well, then the next house after that was Johnny Huey's. When as his father moved over from the Hollow, Huey John as they called him, Huey John Brain. His brother Pat John Brain's up in the Hollow, that was Michael John's father. And he moved over there and married and had a family, 3 girls and 1 boy. And only one of the girls married and she was bastard. And Johnny had a family there, and that's John and the one that's up there. Then had sons down there as a family now.
Aye.
Well, then the last farm over was Clarkins, and they'd all died out long years ago. I think it was one of the Clarkins owned the farm of John Huey's in there at the beginning.
Would you remember them now?
No. I remember Barney Clarkin. Barney Clarkin was married to one of the John Amishes over here, one sister of Jim John Amishes, Susie. She was his second wife, and he was her second man. And they were lit marrying at no family. So she died out the name and all too.
And there's no written connection left then of them, or they?
Not to them, no. Neither Susie nor Barney. Neither Barney taken or the wife Susie Bradley.
Mary Brooks mentioned something about
Hey?
Mary Brooks mentioned something about some of them having Irish. They spoke Irish whenever they were going to school.
Well, I don't know. I never mind of. It could have been that, but I never heard it mentioned. A very little mention about Irish in my young
She
days.
said she remembered them as they were at school.
Master Cameron's mother now, out on it, they called her Anne Murphy. She was Murphy's number given, or number 1 in Union. She would bet that I'd say she'd probably be an Irish speaker too.
Where was she from?
From 1 in Union.
Alright. Then we must have Joe Barney's and Johnny Andy's then, what?
Well, Joe Barney only moved in there, he hadn't raised an American. Moved in there to Batman Cornish. Johnny Andy lived there. And our man, he was mentally affected. He lived in an old barn with the roof half of it. And he died then, Doyle Burton moved in. Joe Barney was into the other place long years before that.
Who were the people who lived there now?
The Michael Cormick, so were Bradley too. Another of the family Bradley. There's 3 of the Lorry family.